Yeah, no. I got a lot of friends who are in that world, and they just like talk, and I'm like, mm-hmm. That's so interesting, so intriguing. Yes, I should have all these different accounts. Yes, crypto. Yes, this, that. I'm like, anyway, next the conversation. So many project managers. This is a very different episode.
What is gonna be about?
So recently, I've gone viral. Unfortunately, for a video that really wasn't that serious. I did like a behind the scenes of me getting braids, right? Because I was going to Beyonce, you know, she had her concert. And so I just showed myself getting braids, right? I didn't think it was going to be that deep. Well, a million people would beg to differ because every single comment, and I got reposted, I've been shared, just bashed. They were like, no, Instagram. Yeah, they were just like, these braids suck. They were starting to say things that were like pretty wild, like anything that a person could say to someone that is just like mean, they said, right? So you're gonna hear some of those comments because I'm gonna read those comments out loud. Yeah, but there's gonna be a point to it. But it was. I was like, wow, people really have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Than to come on social media and say this. Wow, got it, great. So yeah, this is definitely a different episode. It might be a little toxic, so. Welcome to the And So She Spilled podcast, where things are about to be spilled all over the place. No, I don't mean spill like the tea and gossip, even though I can guarantee that I'm only human and that will more likely than not be spilled too, but that there is a lot being spilled onto us from things that are happening in the world politically, how we are told we are supposed to live in our social lives according to anybody with a mic, irony not missed on me, and just all things commentary, lifestyle, and existence. I am your host, Jasmine, and yes, this is a solo pod, but we are here in this together, just trying to make sense of it all. So, I spill, you spill, we all spill. Let's get into this episode. And I guess we'll start rolling. All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of And So She Spilled podcast, where things are spilling all over the place. A place where we talk about all the things, I'm still in PG-13 land. I don't know why I'm there. I am a grown woman who does definitely not curse. But I guess we're here. But a lot of stuff is spilling from the world politically, socially, interpersonally, between friends, internally, within ourselves. And so it's a mess. And so we want to make it make sense. We're going to spill all over the place. We're going to talk about it. We're going to just have a moment without any kind of concluding truisms, i.e. the way that I think has to be how you think. Not necessarily, but I do challenge you to ask the question of why it is that you think the way that you do. And is how you think something that is both helpful to yourself and helpful to the larger community of people. And whatever answer you get there, now, you decide what you do with this, but whatever answer you get there might require that you think a little harder about the convictions that you hold, why you get so passionate and obsessed with either judging people, things, places. Because if it reaches a level to obsession, you might want to ask why it is that you think the way that you do, or why the things that you are thinking are or where they're coming from. And again, if they're violent, go see somebody. I am not that person for you with this podcast. I am just a mere mortal who's decided to start a podcast sharing her thoughts, doing this solo for now, and trying to make things make sense. But welcome to episode number 2. And I'm going to try to move out of this whole newscaster, very serious position, starting to get a bit more comfortable with this. So, again, have some grace, y'all. And yes, I am wearing the same outfit as episode 1 if you are watching me on the YouTube page, which you definitely should. And I did not say that in the previous episode, but you definitely should watch on YouTube as well as listen. You can hear this twice just to boost up the engagement. But again, if this is not for you, why? It should be. That's okay. You can unsubscribe, you can unclick, you can leave, because we're only entertaining the folks who get it. Any other housekeeping that I want to talk about? Yes. Or maybe I should say my name again for those of you who are not familiar with me yet. I am your host, Jasmine. Just Jasmine is what I say on all my platforms. I try to take my last name out of it, even though if you were to Google me, you would find me. And so it's darn, anonymity is now gone. That sucks. But just Jasmine, I'm making it a little bit difficult for you to find me. And I'm super excited to be here, to talk, to spill, to get into it. If you're like, why is your podcast called And So She Spilled the Podcast? You should go listen to episode 1. I get into all of the background and introductory things for the episode. I talk a little bit about myself and why I chose to start this podcast. And so if you're interested, I would go back to that, because we're going to get a little toxic, real just toxic, because folks decided to get a little upset in the comment section. And I thought, well, you know what? I got a mic now. And so to all the times that I would watch somebody talk about their viral moment and be like, oh my gosh, get over it. Why are you talking about it? Yeah, well, you know what? Past Jasmine, you don't get it. There's a mic now, and I'm going to talk about it because it's my show, my episode, my podcast, and I'm going to talk about what I want. But I do promise there is a message in it, because I think that a lot of people aren't going for their dreams, aren't going for whatever project, whatever aspiration that they have, because of the fear of judgment of other people. And after receiving 6,000 negative comments on Instagram about one video, just one, I think that I have a range of perspective to tell you that, y'all, it is really never that serious, and that people should not be dictating what you do, how you do it. Well, unless you do things poorly, and by poorly, I mean violently, because we, again, should care about people. I'm going to be a broken record on that, because I think that that's a very careful message that we should say, that you shouldn't just be like, F it, we ball, I'm going to do whatever I want, I'm going to just not care about what people say. No, this is not don't care about what people say. It's not caring about the things that people say that don't matter or come from a position of trying to hurt you or being a projection, which we're going to define, because I think that a good definition for the classroom would be very, very helpful. But yes, I am your host. I know tangents. Welcome, y'all. I'm a tangent person. I do stay on track, but I do dibble and dabble and travel around, my thoughts a little bit. But I am your host. There will be a segment that is to come that's called Spill It, where you all will be able to send in your messages, your spills, your thoughts, your commentary for advice, and just sharing things that you have evaluated, seen in the world that you think would be nice to add to the conversation or past conversations that we have had on this. I'm trying to be good for audio and not move around too much, but that will be a segment that does happen at some point. As well as I'm not opposed to having hosts or from having folks join me later on. I actually do think that there will be someone very soon who does join me for an episode, because I am traveling right now. I am in London currently filming the first few episodes of this podcast. Yes, I came to London just for that. No, I did not go across the pond from the United States to come to London just for this. That would be silly, probably financially irresponsible, and maybe a little delusional. But I've been told I have travel delusion, which was a shock to me. I was like, oh, am I delulu? Is this how it feels? But yes, I am in London. I live in Paris currently. For the past like 6-7 weeks, I go back and forth between the States and Paris because I love the city. That's really the answer, and because I can. But I'm here and I'm traveling, and so I have friends who are in France who I've asked, hey, y'all want to like talk? And they were like, sure. They're like, are people going to judge me for my English? And I'm like, I mean, I can't say that they won't, because you've seen what the internet can do, but I survived it, and so I think that you'll survive if people are that pressed about your pronunciation of things, which, to be honest, y'all, in America, we're not bilingual, so we really have no room to talk. We have no room to judge and talk. You try balancing multiple languages in your head and then speak, because we don't have room in that fight. We have no room. Those who do, love that for you. But the educational system in America that said English only and English first, yeah, you played us. You played us real good. And now we're in our 20s trying to learn languages because we realize that we have to talk to people in the world. And sometimes we have better conversations and better moments of connection when we actually try to engage the people, the culture at the level that they are at. Shocking. I know the U.S. is not the center of the world. Whew. But yes, so there will be people who do join throughout the episodes, and we will see what those conversations will be, because I think that I've got some pretty dope friends who have been very instrumental in my not only 20s experiences, but in my travel experiences. And so if you look forward to conversations about that from friends who are from all over the world, and who have thoughts about everything, then stay tuned, because I think that that will be a fun time. And of course, I've got friends in America, which America, you're like I don't even know what to describe my relationship to you. It's like you're home, and so I love you. But like, you're also that toxic family member that you create boundaries with. And so, you know what? Maybe not today. Maybe I need space. Maybe I won't talk to you for a year, but I have not forgotten you, because there are some really wonderful things about you, but I just can't deal. Yeah, America, that's you. And you're like, oh my God, you're so anti-America. You did not hear what I said. Re-listen to that last sentence, and then come back to me with a verbatim moment where I said America sucks. America sucks. Okay. But what are we talking about today? We are talking about how the aunties be hating. Hating. And how to keep your power when the billies, what was that? I don't even know what a goat. When the bullies start to project. And again, I have got my handy dandy iPad for those who are watching the YouTube version of this, because I'm still getting used to moving through topics, making sure that I hit all my points. So if I look down, you try talking for 40 minutes to an hour with no note card and just staring at the abyss of a camera without, feeling a little awkward. At some point, the camera and I, we're going to be on the same page. We're going to be besties. We're going to be talking to each other. The camera's going to talk back. That's going to be when it gets weird. When the camera starts talking back and having conversation with me, that's when I think y'all should start checking in on me, right? Being like, should we listen to this lady? Because she's fully just talking to the camera and the camera's talking back. We'll get there when we get there. But we are going to talk about the moment that I went viral. And for some people, this is a moment that you're waiting for. You live for it. You're like, when I go viral, it's over. The people are going to love me. I'm going to get all the engagement. I'm going to get all the followers. I'm going to become a celebrity. I don't know if you've ever seen that TikTok where it's like, is it the president? Is he calling? Tell him I'm online too. Right? You get that level of self-importance. You're like, oh my gosh, all eyes are on me. Yeah. But nobody tells you what happens when you go viral, and it is never for the right reasons. When every single comment is an attack on you. And I think that some people like this because for them, it's all engagement is good engagement. Like, you want to go viral, so you post inflammatory things. And so you expect a very racketous or very loud, a very controversial response because you have posted something controversial and oh my gosh, people got in their feelings about it, not knowing that you really dangled a carrot in front of these people, don't believe what you actually just said and just did it to get people triggered and in their feelings. Maybe don't do that. People are soft. You're soft people. But yeah, that's the intention. They want to go viral. They want bad comments because they know that bad comments is what's going to make that thing go up to the top. And then there's me, okay? I did not post this video to go viral. I was but a mere mortal going to see Beyonce. You know, the queen, you know, the internet that we use, how it's hers. Yeah, that Beyonce. And see Blue, have a good time. Booked a flight last minute to go to Vancouver, Canada, because I was not going to go see Beyonce. But then I thought, wait, Jasmine, you can't be a Virgo who doesn't go see a Virgo during Virgo season. Like, the inception of it all. It was almost in my blood to go. And so for me to deny that, to be like, no, I'm just not going to go because, like, I have better things to do. What? Like, seriously, I had a pause moment in my head. What do you have better to do than to go see Beyonce? I will seriously sit down here and wait. Yeah, the answer was nothing. It was nothing. You know, a job, you know, family, you know, bills and goals and dreams. But those didn't matter. Those didn't matter at all. What mattered was getting on that plane and seeing Beyonce, fitting her into my schedule. Because when I say it was so last minute, I was literally on a flight from a work trip in Taiwan where I was watching everybody posting their Beyonce content. It was like in August, end of August, like August 15th. And I was like, wow, that does look like a lot of fun. Wow. Am I really going to deny myself this joy? Deny myself this fun? And it was in that flight, in the middle seat. If you ever sat in the middle seat on an international flight, you know you're going through spiritual turmoil. You know that you're going through a battle. You know that you're fighting your most inner demons, because why is one shoulder in why is one elbow in rib number 1 and another elbow in rib number 2, and you have to sit there because you're coming from Asia for 15 hours and to keep your mental sanity in check? Yeah, I was somewhere in the ether, just kind of being delusional, but also just going through a spiritual crisis. And Beyonce was like the paragon of virtue that was keeping me on the ground. I was like, you know what? I can look forward to booking this concert ticket to Beyonce. And I told myself, if you can book a flight, a hotel, and Beyonce all under $1,000, then fine. Do it. And I did. And I booked it, right? Great, cool. We're all on the same page. The date that was the best for me was on the 11th of September to go see her in Vancouver, which nobody was on mute. If you were at the Vancouver concert, you know who you are. And I am disappointed in you. And I want you to know that I'm disappointed in you, and that now you know a stranger is disappointed in you, and you should feel very deeply about that. You should feel ashamed. Like, you should really look me soul to soul in the camera right now and know that when she said everybody on mute and you all decided to get excited and scream, that you chose violence. And that's not good for your health. That's not good for your spirit. That's not good for any part of your being. And I need you to dissect, reflect, and try again. Well, you can't at the concert, but you can try to be a better person. Yeah, that might be dramatic. No, it's not. For those of us who went to the concert, you know, when she said on mute, she meant it. And you decided to go on octave. You decided to be Whitney Houston. And I don't understand because none of y'all's vocals. I digress. Anyway, went to Vancouver, did all the great things. But before that, I got my hair done. Y'all, this is where the story turns a very wicked, wicked left. Because you would think, okay, get your braids done. Post a little on my mama, on my hood. I look fly. I look good. The girls didn't like that because when I posted the video, no one thought that I looked fly. No one thought that the braids looked good. No one thought that. And I'll post the video here. So for the folks who are on YouTube, you can see it. If you are a Spotify listener, I don't really know how audio works. If I can just like play that, or if there's like a what's it called, a content violation, like how YouTube is with showing certain copyright music. But here is the video. I'll play some like not important music over it, but it was the Victoria Monet music where she's like, I get it from my mama on my hood. I look fly. I look good. Like, you know, a viral tune at the time, right? Harmless. 35 seconds of harmlessness. I was hurting nobody. I had no intention of going viral. I was just showing the people that I got braids to go see Beyonce. I put my phone down. I go with my roommate to get a drink at the bar. I am scrolling and starting to get notifications. Okay. My account at the time, it's still a very small account, right? But like 200 people, all my friends basically, right, are the only folks who really follow me on social media. So I'm not used to getting the ding, 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 you know, notification. A 16-year-old, yes, 16, because I saw lockers and you're in high school. So really, I have no beef with you because I am an adult. And adults shouldn't fight with children. Yeah, I think we should all take a moment. Let's actually take a moment of silence for this. Adults shouldn't fight with children. Okay, now that we're all on the same page and we all can understand and accept that fact, this is no beef with you, babes, but the way in which you ate me up for no reason, that hurt. Okay, I'm not fighting with you, but that hurt. She was like, LOL, this is a joke. And I'm like, what's a joke? Yeah, sipping my red wine, enjoying my casual Thursday. I'm getting ready to go see Beyonce. I just got the braids done, 4 straight backs, a little extra hair added onto it, whatever. Those braids. And I was like, oh, did she not like them? Then somebody else posted, ha, ha, ha. Oh, no, babe. They are tore up from the floor up. And I was like, all right. So in the span of 15 minutes, 2 people have commented, and they both are bad. No one is saying good. Nobody. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a little disturbed. I'm sitting in the bar thinking I look cute, thinking that the vibes are good. I'm not gonna lie, kind of touching my braids like, should I go home? Should I look in the mirror and reflect a little bit? Should I be a little bothered? But my friend was like, she's in high school, let her be. Like, she doesn't know. Are you going to be bothered with what a high schooler says? And I'm like, fair enough point. I should not be bothered with what a 16-year-old says. And so I let that one go. Cool. Went to bed. Woke up. I'm packing for Beyonce because, again, I booked this stuff real, what's the word? Last minute. And as I'm packing, more notifications, ding, 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 roll in. And this is where you know it's bad news. When people aren't liking the video, but they're going straight to the comment. Like I didn't even get the nicety of a heart. They just went, boom, no, braids suck, braids trash. And I'm going to read y'all some of the comments because they are quite comical. It starts funny. Then it gets a little, Then it gets like, oh, all right. Then it gets like, okay, well, that's a little rough. Then it gets straight up like, did you just solicit me as a person who sells their body, which, no disrespect to a sex worker, but I posted a video about braids. What did that have to do about sex? Nothing, but somehow the comments got there to things about how Beyonce would not be proud nor happy. We'll talk about that, but if y'all really think that I have Beyonce on the main line, that she can call me independently and be like, hey, Jasmine, saw the reel, take it down, braids are trash. You have such a high level of opinion about a stranger, myself, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you that you think that Beyonce would call me and say, babe, take him out. Because I have one question. Did Beyonce call you? Oh, okay. We're going to move on. So I got more comments. I'm getting into Canada and I'm sitting in my hotel room. I'm there early in the day. I'm at the hotel right across the street from where everything is performing. And I go see Beyonce. Like, I see the concert. Beyonce did an amazing job. She is a performer like no one else. She is a legend. When I watched her, I don't know what has happened in my getting older thing, but there was a span of 3 years where I would never cry. Like, I could not remember crying. I was like, have I cried this year? For what? Why? But something happens when you turn 25 and you hit the other side of your 20s where just like tears happen. And it could be for no reason or what I believe no reason. And so why am I sitting in the Beyonce concert just like watching her and getting a little teary? Here's the reason why. Because I think, and it might be the same as other people, but for somebody to master their craft that well, down to the lighting, down to the mic, and you can tell that they put so much time and effort, and to just respect the work that somebody puts into something throughout the span of their career. I don't know, something about that just really hit me that she really did that. Like, she went for it and has built a legacy for herself. And as someone who is starting this podcast and who is at the very beginning stages of developing whatever comes from this, you really put yourself out there. There are a lot of late nights where you fall prey to imposter syndrome, where you're like, why me? Why would anyone listen? What happens if there are no views? What happens if no one cares? What happens if people think X, Y, and Z? And so for somebody who pushed through all that, has had longevity in this industry for more than, 25 years, and is still going, you can't help but just like, as someone who's in that space at the very beginning, be like, wow, like, not if she can do it, I can do it, but that she did it, that the fact that she did it, and not because she wants to go viral, because Beyonce doesn't need to go viral, but that she really cares about quality. And that is definitely a place where I can resonate, hence why I have come to London for less than 48 hours and am investing in a podcast in the way that I have, because this is definitely not cheap and definitely not a guaranteed result. But I resonate, and maybe it's the Virgo in us. Beyonce, if you ever listen to this, it's the Virgo in us. But really investing in your craft and doing it right the first time, you can't take back. And so I could have done the film it in my room and figure out how the audio works, figure out how all these things work. And I could do that. I'm probably still going to do that. But how I wanted to launch and present this to the world, I wanted to know that I invested. There's something about making an investment in what you do, and wanting it to look a certain way and just crafting it in a particular way that expands you and challenges you. And this definitely is a challenge. It's definitely new. There's some bright lights, shining in my face right now in ways that I have not had bright lights shine in my face before. And so I don't know, I can resonate with that. I can resonate with really developing your craft. And so, get a little emotional. But that's not what y'all are listening for. You're listening for how the toxic aunties and cousins decided to come into my comment section and say all of the things that they wanted to say. So I'm at the concert, live my best life with the braids, for people who are like, did she really go wear those to the concert? Yes, I did. I got them done to go see Beyonce. And so, yes, I wore the braids. No, shocker. Whoa. Oh, no. End of the world. The biggest problem of the century is that a stranger who you did not know, and you still don't, wore braids to a concert. Cataclysmic. Right next to climate change. Right next to it. Probably right next to world hunger, too. Right? Like, that is y'all got it. Y'all world thinkers, gonna solve all the big problems of the world, the amount of energy y'all put into my comment section. But all this is happening. I'm not really paying attention to it that much because, again, I'm being present for Beyonce. But then I get back home, and this is when it really starts picking up, where it's just comment after comment, like, share. And I thought, what better to do than to share what some of these comments were. But first, I want to define a word. So I think it's an important word because I do want to make sure that there is a point to this and not just, hey, y'all, for 40 minutes, let me just read some comments that some aunties and cousins decided to make on a stranger's video about her getting her braids done. And hey, you might even be somebody who's watching who was somebody who commented, hello, hi, how are you? Welcome back. Anything else you want to say? The floor is yours. Say it on this episode. Matter of fact, expose yourself. Say that was me, because you said it so loud on Instagram. I think that you can be loud on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts as well. Because if you're loud and you're true and you're convicted and you're obsessed, you should be able to stand 10 toes down on every single platform. Hello, I'm not here to bash you though, because, again, there's a point to all of this. And again, I'm not fighting with strangers who I don't know over braids. It's silly. It's pointless. But we're going to define a word that I think is important. So everyone come close. Here we go. Projection. And to make sure that we're all on the same page, the definition that I'm going to be pulling from Britannica, right? I could pull up Merriam-Webster, but I'm choosing Britannica. Is it the mental process by which people attribute to others what is in their own minds. For example, individuals who are in a self-critical state, consciously or unconsciously, may think that other people are critical of them. Projection. Projection. Just in case you wanted to do your own independent research and study on this word. So, I wanted to define projection because I think that, especially when uncalled for, again, this was not a video that was meant to call anyone out. It was not meant to go viral. It was not meant to pull people out of themselves, out of their character, but somehow it did. Means that this was not about me. It was not about the braids. It was an opportunity for you to voice thoughts that you have had in your mind and that you wanted to put into the universe, put into the world, materialize, and for someone else to feel the impact of thoughts that have been racing in your mind for a while now. And I get it. Thoughts are scary. right? The world is scary. I get it 100%. And so sometimes people cannot contain that. Sometimes people don't know how to control their thoughts, how to emotionally regulate. And so instead of regulating themselves and learning how to compartmentalize and learning what to do with those self-critical aspects of themselves and learning to heal, learning to love, learning to, become, they place that on other people because they sincerely cannot contain it to themselves, and they feel a sense of either validation or a sense of community through externalizing that, putting it on somebody else to be like, hey, if I can get you to believe what I believe about you, then I have created a new reality for a person to exist in, my reality, if I'm the person who's projecting. And now I'm no longer alone because I believe it and you believe it. And if I am successful in doing that, it's a party of two now, where I have the power over you and you are now only seeing your world through my perspective. Projection is a wild, wild drug, right? It's a wild, wild experience, and you can get lost in it, especially if you don't understand that that is what a person is doing, and also understanding yourself, right? Are you good with yourself? Are you rooted in yourself? Do you know why you did what you did, why you say what you say? And are you open? Are you open to accepting that maybe how you said something could have been hurtful or how it could have done something to X person, but also reach a line where you're like, you know what? No, what I said was not meant to demean, judge, bring down someone else. So if that's how they are taking it, I can acknowledge that, but that wasn't my intention. I'm not going to accept that into my reality, but I can acknowledge where that person is coming from. That's the best version of understanding projection. This comment section, the silliest. And so these people don't know me. They don't know that I have the background that I have in, one, being a Virgo, two, being the oldest child of four, which also means that I basically was a third parent. Especially in a single parent household. So watching turbulence and watching chaos take place, and having to be calm, like reflective and observing and be like, that didn't make sense. I wouldn't do it like that. Maybe we don't yell and scream. Now, I'm not saying I was a saint as a kid. I'm not saying that I did not scream and shout. I am not saying any of those things, but I definitely had, I think, a larger awareness about people within chaos and when emotions were getting high, because I was in a role of like parent at a very young age. So I think that contributed to how I divorce myself from the moment and try to look at things from so what's the goal here? What are we doing? What's the point? Like, if there is no point and there is no goal, you're just talking. Okay, great. Here is your moment to talk, because it seems as though you really need this because you don't know how to deal with chaos. So yeah, they don't know that I'm the oldest of four. Don't know that I'm a Virgo. So what do they say about Virgos? I'm not a star person, y'all. I'm not really into the zodiac. All of my friends are. And so for the sake of knowledge and the pursuit of, expanding the mind, it intrigues me here and there. And the attacks sometimes that it has on the Virgos, some of it's right, but heal, and the bad parts aren't true anymore, right? That's what I'm going to say. I'm not a therapist, but Virgos are very analytical and very aware and right about everything. Maybe that's not what it said, but that's what I read, that we just have an understanding about things that end up being true, and people just in the moment weren't ready to accept that. And I get it. That can be very jarring for someone to always be right. It's a very silent world sometimes, very, very hard to live in that position, but we'll carry that on our backs, okay? We'll carry always being right for y'all, and we will wait for you to get on the same page. Is that toxic enough for y'all? I don't know. I also have some Scorpio in me. I don't know. And that's where my friends were like, yeah, Jasmine, dead end. I'm like, dang, darn. Okay. Not me doomed because of a star, but here we are. So they don't know this about me. That's a little background on how I'm thinking, right? I know what projection is. I also don't fall prey to just chaos is happening. So let me just like feed into it. Let me fight back. Let me defend myself. I kind of almost look at it as you are now a case study. Your interaction with me, I'm not viewing you like a subject in a study, but like I really am. I'm looking at this like, that's what you're choosing to say? Interesting. Why? That's what you're choosing to do? Interesting. Where does that stem from? And to somebody who is trying to get you to accept their reality and to, fall into that trap, when you don't, when you look at what they say and divorce it from your reality, where it's like, okay, those are what you think. Those are your words. See the very key word here? You. You put it back in their world, right? And you isolate it from your own. And so now when it's isolated from your world and they cannot access creating a truth from their perspective about you, it gets very sporadic. It gets very unnerving for them, right? Because like I said, a lot of times when people project, it is coming from an excess amount of pressure in their mind about thoughts that they cannot contain from themselves. They can't keep it in their head. They can't keep it in their world. So they have to spill. There are negative aspects to spilling too. We're only human. We can learn from projection. But that it spills out and goes towards other people because they don't want to be alone with their thoughts. They don't want to be alone with the self-critical perspective. It feels good to have somebody there with you, right? Who will fight with you. Like, oh, that's what you think about me? That's not it. That's da-da-da. But you've now brought that person to your world and you can have a back and forth fight about a falsehood, about a lie, about something that is just not true, but they get that power. Right? So when you don't view it that way, when you take that away from them, you leave them with their own thoughts. You leave them in that world where they can't contain, and it gets painful, it gets scary. And so now it gets erratic, it gets chaotic. They don't know what left and right is. They don't know up and down. They're just a ball of negative energy because they don't know how to regulate. And so, again, I should say, I am not a mental health expert. I am not a therapist. I am but, again, a mortal who makes observations about the world, who has read a lot on things such as psychoanalysis and psychology. But again, I am not a professional. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Relate to what you can relate. Use this as an open-ended opportunity to do your own observations, your own case studies, your own looking abouts of the internet and your own personal interactions with people. And if you are somebody who does project and you do need help with that, seek out the professionals who can help you with that. Know that on my end, and we're going to get into the comments. I know that I've been preamble. Preamble is ridiculous. I be preambling for hours. And that's not even true because I'm looking at the clock. I have not been talking for an hour. So me saying hours is a bit dramatic, but I can preamble for a while. But to the people who do project and have been projected upon, and it's like a cycle for them, it's all love here. It is. It hurts. 'Cause I'm, again, human. And when people say things foul, it can be a little distasteful. But because I know where it is coming, because I know where it is coming from, and I know that it's not real, and it more says something about you than it will ever say about me, how can it really hurt me, right? It hurts you. And I don't want people to constantly hurt themselves. That's not fun. That's not a place that anyone should want to be in. So if you were a person that did that and you are listening to this podcast, this is not a place of like, F you, go away. It's, the game has been peeped. We can all become better. I can become better. And we move on. Now that's enough of the productive, non-toxic, oh my gosh, she's being so mature perspective, because that's not fun. And why is oh my God. People calling, and it's like telemarketers. That's not even fun. Like, if it's going to be something, be spicy, but it is not. Oh, right. Insurance. Not be talking about random things that come with being 26 in America. When you turn 26, if you didn't know, you get kicked off of your parents' insurance and you have to pay for it yourself, or your employer does. So I'm just getting all these emails and texts about different packages and plans and premiums that I have to do very, very soon because I'm getting a surgery soon. And unless you have $20,000 to send to me for a routine surgery, yeah, I gotta get this done. But the comments, we're gonna get into them. That was the more, I guess, how can we set ourselves up to understand what we're about to jump into, which is the abyss, the cesspool of the comment section on social media, and being a bit more mature about it, because the rest is probably not gonna be mature. Or it might. I don't know. My commentary, because I replied back to quite a few people. I did. And you're like, there were 6,000 comments. Yeah. I had time. I don't know how I mean, when you don't sleep, you know what? We're not going to promote bad lifestyle habits. But like, if you know, you know. And if you don't sleep, you get it. I had time to respond. And I think that the people who followed me mainly because of my responses, because I don't think that they were typical of what people generally expect when people call you out, cuss you out, call you out of your name, saying all these really randomly negative things. They wanted a bull. They wanted somebody to fight back and just like say ridiculous things. And like I told y'all, I'm not going to be on Beyonce's internet fighting with a stranger about a lie or about somebody else's reality. That looks silly. And so I treated it as such. I treated it as a joke. And some people got mad at that. They got mad that I did not get mad. Funny, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you can't take this seriously. So let's go to the post that started it all. If my internet will load. There we go. Boom. Can I listen to without... Because I don't want the audio to show. Okay, great. Let's go to the comments. And to keep y'all in the loop, how many comments does this have? I think it currently has 6,100 comments, which for a video of this size, quite wild. My pinned comment has 4,400 likes. So we're dealing with a lot. So I'm going to read some. And we're going to have a good time. I'm not going to say people's usernames because that is meaningless. You don't need to search these people out. Just know that predominantly the aunties and cousins. So unfortunately, my black women, y'all came for me. And I love you so deeply. But like, damn. Okay. So where do we begin? I'm just going to read some random ones. I've not planned this out for which ones I'm going to read and which ones I'm not. So one person said, wait, those were the braids? Merciful Jesus. Not Jesus getting brought into it. Not like the redemptive power of the Lord. But yeah, merciful Jesus over braids, y'all. Yeah. I tried so hard to have hope. And what did I gain? Yeah, well, I'm sorry that you had hope. Hopefully a miracle emerges in your life because I don't know why that caused a stir. People promoting themselves. I like that. I like, hey, next time come to endorse your business. Okay, cool. Someone said, definitely trolling us. I'm here for it. Girl, you could have let my sister get you together. The F. A lot of people had sisters and cousins who apparently can braid and have businesses. I want to know where the link are in bios. Because if everybody can braid hair all of a sudden, including your 1-year-old child who you said could do my braids better than the person who owned the salon, you got a savant. If your 1-year-old can do that, you have a genius and you need to develop that talent. Your 1-year-old baby. A lot of gifts, a lot of Will Smith and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Nah, these had to be the appetizer, because ain't no way, no ma'am. I know you enjoyed the concert. Please say you took those braids out as soon as you got in the car. Not me sticking to the whole clip, just hopeful. Done stubbed my damn toe run into these comments, and they never fail me. Laughing emoji. Whenever I see what I asked for versus what I got post, I always say, ain't no way, y'all just sit there and let them play with y'all. And yes way, y'all just sit there and let them play with y'all. I wanted to see if I was tripping, cause well, yeah. I knew this wasn't going to turn out right when I saw the stylist who was bald. Never let a bald woman play in your head. My braider was bald, and there really is no correlation between not having hair and being able to do hair. But you know what? Many likes on that comment. My lawyers would be in contact. Now, some people are funny. Like, I can tee-hee and laugh about comments, like the best of them. So like some of these, I'm like, okay, great. Like you all are entitled to not like the braids. That's not the point. Not the point at all. But if I had to count how many Cleo gifts that I got, and if you don't know who Cleo is, Queen Latifah in, oh God, y'all are gonna roast me for not knowing the movie. Well, Queen Latifah, when she played a character that went to prison, got braids, and they said that I looked like that character who was going to prison. So, many Cleo gifts. Let's see. I mean, I don't know. Would you go back? Maybe. That's why y'all need to stop being cheap when it comes to braids. Then y'all want to complain about quality. I mean, the cost of living is high, and these stylists are definitely charging quite a bunch to maintain their luxury lifestyle. So I think that we can continue to still do that. We want to know how much you wasted. Babes, I spent money. That's about all I will say about that. Oh, yes, she set it off. That's the movie. It's called Set It Off. Is it supposed to look like that? Some people were very kind. They said, oh, skin flawless. Babe, you're too pretty for that, but braids are Thank you to those people. You're nice. Honey, you should go give those braids back. I thought those were pre-prepped. I didn't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting this. You paid for that? You should have came to me. More gifts. Or GIFs. I don't know. This is where the zillennial in me gets messed up. How do you pronounce it? Who knows? I knew it was going to be a disaster after the first braid. Beyonce don't like that. A mess. The braider bald-headed. The end. I ran the comments. Did you like your braids? Well, I posted them, so I must have liked them. Kind of. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows why people do? It's the reply back for me. Yeah, because, for example, somebody said it's giving dinosaur. So my response, grr, because that's the noise that I hear a dinosaur making in my head, with a dinosaur emoji. Because if you can't lean into something, because clearly I'm not giving dinosaur, or even if I was giving dinosaur, you told me that, so I'm going to grr back, because you said that I'm giving dinosaur. So what does the dinosaur do? They growl, I think. Don't quote me. Never met a dinosaur in my life. Wait a minute. She for real? For real? I am indeed for real. I for real got the braids. 37,000 likes. Yeah, and that was 3 weeks ago. Yes, I know. 37,000 likes. Ratioed in the comments. You knew this didn't look good. If that's what you think. It hurt me most because you got them to go see Beyonce. Again, Beyonce's on my speed dial. She called me and told me she was disappointed. So y'all were right. Let's see. Because they're so just... I'm glad nobody lied in the comments. Sit the concert out, baby. The concert's over, and no, I'm gonna go. What in the Peter Piper pickled peppers the F is this? I would have been furious. See, that's funny. I can laugh at that. That's like comical, because like the alliteration, you get bonus points. So this is not to read the comments and be like, oh my God, all of y'all are just horrible. But like, come on now. From the moment I saw the flakes, I knew it was downhill from there. Hate when hairdressers just leave like sitting there. Take her to court immediately. I'm curious, did you like it or no? I'm getting mixed messages with your facial expressions. I said, well, curiosity killed the cat. You know, being cheeky, because if you're so curious about if I genuinely like something, well, you know, sometimes curiosity can be the death of you. Not prescribing death on anyone. I'm just using a cliche phrase that people say about curiosity. But, you know, somebody's going to say something. Let's see. Take them down now. On my mama, on my hood, you had better got it for free, right? Because the song that was used was On My Mama, On My Hood. You spelled Bobby Brown wrong. Now, I feel like y'all know who that is, so I don't know really have to explain that. But they're saying that instead of me going to a Beyonce concert, I meant to say Bobby Brown. You know, the abuser of Tina Turner. That is who I should have seen instead. Yeah. No, ma'am. This one got a lot of likes. No, ma'am. No ham. No turkey. No cheese. Because what the F is this? Now, I didn't really understand that initially until my students came to me and said, so what she's saying, Jasmine, is that you didn't eat. And I was like, dang. Okay, I kind of like that. I can laugh, y'all. I can laugh. So when you say no ham, no turkey, you're saying like there was no food on my plate. I did not eat because, you know, she ate that. Apparently, I did not eat anything. Someone said it's giving. My cousin can get that for free. The braids just aren't neat. Okay. Let's see. I know you lying. Dead emoji. Instead of sitting in that chair, you should have been sucking some. Yeah, I'm going to let y'all fill in the blanks for that. My mother saw that comment, by the way. Of all the comments for my mother to see, she sees that comment. And then she commented to me, like in text, being like, Jasmine, don't worry about the things. God's got you. I'm like, Mom, it's okay. But leave the comment section because your heart's going to be broken. I don't need y'all breaking my mother's heart. Getting her stressed. But that was one of the comments that my mother did see. And she was stressed. More gifts, more things. I broke my hip coming to the comments. This ish is a mess. Girl, you look tore up from the floor up again. So, y'all, a lot of comments, and every single post that came after that, because I posted other ones of me in the braids, joking. I posted a joking comment, and let's go to, let's see, more some comments there. Where are you? I tried to play into the joke, right? Like, y'all are roasting me, ha ha ha, have your fun. This is your sense of entertainment. I can't take that away from you. If I'm the cause of your entertainment, then I guess I got to give you a show. My internet's not really loading, so I've got some of them down to memory because that's how much time that I had left. My shoes, the same ones that I'm wearing right now that y'all can't see on camera. So, you know, just some, what are they called? Dunks. Some white Nike Dunks that, yes, I have had for some time. And yes, are not pearly white that I wore to a concert with beer and alcohol and candy and sticky stuff all over. I did not wear the silver decorative boots and heels to a concert with mini stairs. I know. Shame on me. Same shoes that I'm wearing here today in London. Call me out. I'm not being a London girl with the aesthetic right now for you all. But she was like, oh, I just knew from the braids down to the dirty shoes, girl, take them off and pray because you are not going to hell. Like, over some white shoe, like not having white shoes, I really don't think that whatever y'all believe as salvation, if you believe in salvation, like, it's gonna be based off of my shoes. If it is, I think that collectively we all need to kind of decide what religion is. But like, neither here nor there. People just had a lot to say. And shameless plug, if you ever want to entertain yourself in the comment section, be someone who comments, be some of the very awesome people who were defending me in the comment section as well, being like, I like how you're commenting back, you're taking it as a joke, or you're not really, like, you're not giving them the same energy. Thank you. Thanks for following. Those who are hate following me, okay. Enjoy. I mean, whatever it is that does for you, because you don't want to be alone in your own thoughts. Here is an hour-long episode where you can listen to me address and talk to this so that you're not alone. You now have somebody every single week who will be here with you. We're going to do this together. You and I hate watching me not reciprocating. We can do this. We have some common ground. So thank you to you too, because y'all really engaged and followed, and I appreciate that, and defended me and said some really nice things. And so for those who saw my character and peeped that she's not letting these people play around with her. Oh, wonderful. Like-minded people following each other. I like it. Is there anything else that I want to say? Probably not. Concluding thoughts. I think I gave them in the beginning. And that is, don't let people construct your reality for you. If you can do that, you have a lot of the power in your hands, because people like to create falsehoods, false worlds, and try to sell you on it. And if you can't be sold into a lie, and their entire way of being is being a salesman to get people into that, you have taken their entire sense of self. And that goes one of two ways. You take their sense of self and they tailspin to destruction, or you take their sense of self and somehow it leads to them transforming, changing, and becoming better. Either way, it's not your job, but it doesn't take you out of your power, and it allows for you to have some authority over yourself, and you can post that video, post that podcast, post that picture. And if people have negative things to say, know that it's not about you. It's not. You did not do anything to these people. It is about them, and keep it right there. That is another episode, y'all, of And So She Spilled podcast. I think this one was accidentally a little bit longer. So, yay, great. Until next time, y'all, don't forget to listen to the episode before, the episode after, and the ones that are soon to come. And I will spill with y'all, make a huge ass mess. Ooh, we're starting to say curse words later. Bye.
I didn't cat the second.
All right.
Nice.